The following is a paid program brought to you by My Philly Lawyer. The views and opinions expressed are those of the sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the station and its management.
Good morning. Court Radio is now in session. Call 215-227-2727. When you've got legal questions, we've got the answers. This is Court Radio. And now here's your host, Dean Weitzman.
Good morning and welcome to Court Radio. I'm Dean Weitzman, and this is your hour to ask any legal question you've been sitting on. All you got to do is give David and I a call at 215-227-2727. Good morning, David.
Good morning.
And welcome
How are you?
back.
Yes, it's been a while.
Yes, it
I feel like I
has.
haven't been here in ages.
Yeah, we had some, toads sitting in for you.
Yeah, they were okay.
Yeah.
They didn't perform as well.
But you are the favorite co-host for Court Radio.
That's what they say.
Folks, if you got that legal question, give us a call at 215-227-2727. Court Radio is brought to you by My Philly Lawyer. And if during the week you got legal issues you need some work with, just give us a call. David, things in the news. There's some criminal justice things popping up all over the place.
As
and
always.
The first one that I thought was newsworthy is the Supreme Court's decision to end mandatory life sentences for juveniles.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pennsylvania, amongst many things that we shouldn't be proud of, has the distinction of having the most criminal convictions for minors for life sentences.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Hey,
In fact,
I did not know that.
I think that Philadelphia has like 10% of all of the minor mandatory criminal life sentences.
Jeez.
And so
I'm shocked.
yeah.
I would not. I think it would be like Texas or something,
Right.
somewhere where they really love incarcerating people. But I guess
Yeah.
we love it
Well,
all over this country.
In Texas, they love killing people.
Yeah, that's true. They do kill them. Yeah,
They don't
Here
give them
we-
life sentences.
Right. They kill them.
They just kill them.
Yeah, that is a big difference. That cuts down the amount a lot. Wow. Okay. Well, that's something we need to work on, obviously, and we have the Supreme Court is.
And what's going to happen is all of these presumably adults now who were convicted as minors,
Right.
will have an opportunity to have their sentence reevaluated.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
And maybe subject to immediate parole,
Right.
or a sentence reduction once they've gone before
A board,
a
or
judge.
something.
Actually,
A judge. Okay.
Yeah, they're going to have to be resentenced, and so there's that's what's going on there. And the other thing is that the President Obama,
Mm-hmm.
announced a ban on solitary confinement for juvenile offenders. They were actually allowing juveniles to be thrown into the hole for upwards of a year.
Oh God.
A year in solitary confinement. The psychological effects.
I mean,
Is
it doesn't even
devastating.
sound like America when you say that these laws were in place.
Yeah, well,
It really doesn't.
It's maybe not the America you
Yeah.
or I live in.
That's right.
But guess what? We incarcerate a huge percentage of our population, and when you look at people of color, the percentage is just outright outrageous. It's outrageous.
Yeah, but I'm not. I assume this is just the whole prison population is subject to this.
Yes.
And you're talking about juveniles in particular, and yeah, the whole idea. I'm not a big fan of solitary confinement anyway, for all the reasons you said, the psychological. But for a juvenile, it almost seems like you're saying to them, you have no hope of rehabilitation. We're just going to guess at that, and we're not even going to give you a chance, and we're going to make it 10 times worse. We're going to put you in solitary for a year, and then you'll have no chance of ever doing anything because you're going to be so scarred from that.
Yeah, this is
crazy.
Well, it is, and I think that the criminal justice system, it needs an overhaul.
Yeah, we've talked
needs
about that.
it needs to be not the knee-jerk reaction that we throw somebody in jail and throw away the keys.
Might I suggest that it is similar in some ways to what, in that respect, to gun control, in that the mental health aspects of the issue need to be explored much more than we explore them, instead of just knee-jerking throwing people in jail.
Yep.
And same with guns, we need to...
And for those who are stomping their feet and saying no, 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 in the long run, I believe it'll make us safer, and it's less expensive to treat the problem at the front end rather than having to deal
And what
with
does
it
that mean,
on the
less
back end.
Less taxes, which I'm sure all of you love.
Even the Republicans.
That's right. Well, especially.
215-227-2727. David and I are talking criminal justice. We got guests today in the studio.
Criminals. I mean, no.
Criminal
You said
justice advocates.
I thought we had a
Advocates.
criminal.
State representative.
You've heard him before. He's been here.
Jordan Harris. Welcome to Court Radio.
Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome back to Court Radio.
Yes, sir. Good morning. How are
Good
you?
morning.
Yes,
Good
and
morning.
you came back, and we brought you back because of a stellar issue and job you've done on something we've talked about many times.
Cool.
And now it's come to fruition.
Finally.
As you promised.
Yes.
Finally.
Last time you were here,
Finally.
you promised.
I really didn't think. Well, folks, what we're talking about, and I got to say, many Court Radio listeners call me regularly over the last year and a half
yeah.
to say, hey, what's going on with that expungement bill?
Yes.
Can I come down and file my expungement petition? And I say, no, you can't. Pennsylvania doesn't recognize expungements.
Yeah.
If you've been convicted, it is a lifelong sentence. But I always said, but my friend Jordan Harris is working on a solution, and he promises us it'll be any day.
The
Day has arrived.
Yes.
We are here.
Yeah, folks, the expungement bill has passed the state House of Representatives
Yes.
and the Senate.
Yes.
Both bodies of really hard-working men and women of Pennsylvania,
And-
really smart, hard-working men and women of Pennsylvania have sat down after 100 years, scratched their head and figured out, hey,
Come on.
maybe
Dean.
expungement makes sense. Maybe it'll help people get rehabilitated.
Yes.
And so, by the efforts of Jordan Harris, pretty much, a couple other guys,
A lot of other people. It definitely was a team effort. I mean, the bill is actually in the name of the Judiciary Chair in the Senate, who is Stuart Greenleaf,
Greenleaf,
who
yeah.
you had.
He was on.
He was on the show as well. Another guy who has been a champion and an advocate for the issue. It's Senate Bill 166, which is a Greenleaf bill, which some language that I had written and worked on in the House was amended into Senate Bill 166 by the Republican Judiciary Chair in the House, who was Representative Ron Marsico. That bill 166 this week passed both the Senate and the House, and now makes its way to the governor's desk. For the governor's
which is a
signature.
pretty foregone conclusion at that point.
Well, the
Once
governor
it's done, right?
has agreed that we have spoken with the governor, and there's an agreement that this is something that the governor wants to sign. So they're just waiting for the governor's signature.
Nice.
Okay, so 215-227-2727 gets you into Court Radio, where if you got questions for David and I or Representative Harris, you want to know something about this expungement bill,
Yeah, we're going to give you some details about it.
Yes.
ring up the phone, 215-227-2727. So we also have we will have shortly the new police commissioner, Richard Ross.
It's my man. Good guy.
Do you know Richard?
Yeah, know him very well. Really good guy.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Does he wear his pajamas have those little gold braids on it now?
I don't know.
I
I don't know if they give you pajamas when you become
Yes, they
police
do.
chief.
Yes, they do.
You have to buy them on your own, actually.
You got the braided pajamas.
Right.
But he'll be on the show in a minute. We'll ask him some questions, too. But let me ask you the first question.
Yes.
How long can we expect it to sit on Tom Wolf's desk?
Oh, I don't think it'll sit that long. We just did it on Wednesday.
Right.
I put in a call to the governor's office over the weekend, so I'm waiting for a definitive answer. But the way it works, either the governor signs it in 10 days or it becomes law without his signature in 10 days. but this is really something that the governor
Yeah,
has
sign it.
expressed his support. So, the governor should sign it. Now, I will say this: there is a 270-day wait after it is signed for it to take effect. The reason for that is because this is actually you got to create a whole new database,
Right.
so that we can actually do what the law says. So you got to get a state police time, you got to get a court systems time. We've already been in conversation with the district attorney. We will be engaging with community legal groups like Community Legal Services, Christian Legal Services, and the court system, because you're going to have to create a brand new process for because the legislature says this is what we want to happen, but then it actually has to happen. So
you're saying it won't go into effect
for
until
270 days.
So that would be the starting date of when you count the
right.
time period. Okay.
No.
See, that's what I'm asking.
No. The 270 days is the time period
to implement them
for us to actually get in order to implement, and that's sometime in October.
It's 9 months.
But the 10-year period starts right now.
If you did this in 2004 or 5,
right?
Good. That 10-year counts from back then.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted to.
We're going to talk about that 10-year period.
Yep.
But first, let's talk about the question we have from Lakia from Clifton Heights on line 2, Lar. Hi, Lakia. Welcome to Court Radio.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you guys kind of just started. Sorry.
Are you happy to be calling Court Radio?
I am. It's ironic because I just so happen to be listening to this.
Yep.
And I probably should say I'm not a criminal, but I do have a question because my husband does have, a criminal background, which is very, very old. It's actually prior to us even being together. It's about 11 years old.
Right.
And we've been together for about 10 years now. But even now,
so in other words, Lakia, you turned him around.
that's exactly what happened. But
Okay.
I guess my question pertains to the whole, the 10-year rule and the process once this bill has been fully implemented. What the process is specifically, how to go about getting an expungement, because we've looked into expungements previously because even though some employers will say, they're doing a background check and they're only going so far back, he's had several instances where it comes up. And his, I believe, specifically was it was receiving stolen property, and he was arrested at 17, but he was charged at 18. So I think, and I could be very wrong about this, but I think because he was charged when he was 18 is why he keeps coming up with his adult record, because he was technically a juvenile when he was arrested. Now, again, he hasn't been arrested since. He hasn't gotten in any type of trouble.
Right. Depends on the crime, though, so that's one of the things we're concerned about.
So let me do this. I'm going to try to answer this generally. One, I am not an attorney. These two guys are. I can just tell you what the bill says. The first thing is that it has to be 10 years, right? So he will qualify for that. The bill deals with misdemeanor 3s and misdemeanor 2s. So it depends on what his conviction is, if it's a misdemeanor 2 or if it's a misdemeanor 3. It deals also with things that the max that a person could have been sentenced to is 2 years incarceration. So if a person was sentenced to anything less than that, they're eligible. There are some exceptions to the bill. Most of the exceptions have to deal with any type of sexual crimes or any type of witness intimidation. So if a person was convicted of anything that has to do with sexual crimes or witness intimidation, that person would not be eligible for this.
Or a violent crime.
Or a violent crime. Now, so what it also does is it's technically called limited access. And let me explain to you what limited access means. Limited access means that the record still exists, but it only exists for criminal justice agencies and or licensing agencies. So what does that mean? That means that if your husband was to qualify for this, misdemeanor 2, misdemeanor 3, and ungraded misdemeanors under the 2-year prison term, if your husband was to qualify, they would go to the court, they would petition the court for an order of limited access, and they would go before a judge. The district attorney would have an opportunity to object. They would then go before a judge. A judge would decide. If the order was granted, what would happen is your husband, one, would be able to no longer have to say that they were convicted of this crime. 2, every time your husband goes for a job, it would not show up on their record unless the job has something to do with a licensing agency that requires these things. So, if it's a child care a job or something like that, the folks would still be able to see it. So that's kind of a general overview of what it is. But I encourage people to look up Senate Bill 166 as it is written online at pahouse.com or at the state website and look it up and look into detail for their particular case.
Lakia, thanks for calling Court Radio and have a great Sunday.
Thank you. You too.
Bye now.
Take care, guys.
All right.
215-227-2727. The law adds there was some limited expungement for like summary offenses, which is more like a traffic ticket than it is a crime. But there was some basis for expungement. You could expunge arrest records that never resulted in a conviction.
Well, let me talk about that. So this is a small part, a part of the bill that we typically don't talk about when we talk about this. Under this bill, there was language inserted from a bill that I worked on last term where those arrest records automatically
Nice.
done.
Is that in law now?
Well, once the governor signs it.
Oh, that's a part of this bill.
That's
part of the
part
bill,
this
yeah.
bill.
Okay.
Nice.
It's a part of this bill.
That's
that
good.
Another part of this bill, folks, is that if you have a third-degree misdemeanor or an ungraded misdemeanor, you need to be 7 years arrest-free. But if it's a second-degree misdemeanor, then it has to be 10 years. And let me also say, and there's certain little quirky things about this law that I don't like, Jordan.
I got you.
For instance, the crime has to be committed before you're 25.
No, that was taken out.
Taken out.
You're reading the wrong printer's number.
Okay.
So there were several
Additions.
right to this bill.
He's got the one.
And
Jordan's looking at the press.
The one that I'm reading is the one that.
So an old head could still get the benefit of this.
Yes.
Dean's on his cell phone.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Shut up.
so let me
iPhone.
So let me look at it. So when we talk about the arrest, 3 years have elapsed from the date, no conviction has occurred, and no proceedings are pending.
So 10 years, no matter whether it's a second degree or third degree.
10 years all around.
Okay.
The age requirement stuff was removed from the bill.
Oh, good.
So it's just.
But
just straight
let
up
me
10
be
years.
clear about
But
something.
let me tell you, folks, what a second or third degree misdemeanor is. Under $200 by theft. So if you're convicted of theft and you stole $1,000, that's probably a misdemeanor 1, and it's not going to be expungible. Expungible right now is summary offenses, misdemeanor 2s, and misdemeanor 3s.
Once the governor signs the bill.
Once the governor
But let me be
signs,
clear
and
about
9
something.
months have passed.
This arrest record issue, let's be very specific. It would be records of being arrested and charged, but never either getting dismissed or never going further.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
So, okay.
So arrest records are done.
They're automatic once it's
yes,
signed. Yeah.
Once it's signed. And then misdemeanor 2s, misdemeanor 3s, where it's not punishable by more than 2 years incarceration.
Gotcha.
All right, let's talk to Edna from Darby, PA on expungement. Hi, Edna. Welcome to Court Radio.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine and happy that I got through. I've been trying to get through many a Sunday.
Good.
Well, we're happy you got through, too. And guess what,
Make
Edna?
it good.
Because you're so diligent about trying to get through, I want you to stay on the line when we're all done with you, and I'm going to have Monica get your address, and you're going to get a Court Radio T-shirt.
All right.
There you go. Wear it proudly. So what's your question, Edna?
I have a younger daughter, who was out with a girlfriend and her boyfriend. The girlfriend and boyfriend robbed 2 people on South Street. My daughter was there, and even the people that got robbed said she never touched them, but she had got charged with conspiracy of theft. Ever since then, that was her first offense and her last. She has not been in trouble anymore, and I think the case is coming up on 7 years. We're trying to get it expunged because now she cannot find a job. It's really hard for her to find a job, and she has 3 kids.
So
I would like to know, how can I help her get that record expunged so she can
Well,
find a decent job.
Yeah, first of all,
you got to wait 3 years.
you got to wait 3 more years. And that's just the start.
It has to be 10 years from the end of her sentence. Yeah?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
if she was convicted, because
Yeah.
I don't know if she was convicted. Was she
sounds like
convicted
she was.
of it?
Yeah.
Well, she told me that they had told her because she had spent the night in prison, that's what made her record even worse because she did time in jail.
No. But was she convicted of the crime? Was she actually charged and convicted? Or did it get
Yes.
dismissed? She
Yeah,
was.
she was convicted.
No, because we had a public offender. It was wrong decision on my
Right.
part
All
and
right.
lack of meaning.
We get it.
Okay, so
So
the
now
answer is if it's an expungable offense,
Yeah.
which means you have to look at the charges. If they're misdemeanor 2s or 3s, then she could eventually get them expunged at the end of 10 years. If it was a misdemeanor 1 or a felony, then it's still not expungible under this new law. And so really you got to look down at the actual crime, pull out the old records or go down to the City Hall records room and get them to see exactly what her conviction was for. Okay?
Right.
And
Okay.
then, as we've said 100 times, it has to be 10 years from the end of her sentence, and then she becomes eligible to have a judge consider expungement as an option.
Okay, as long as you stay out of trouble.
Correct. Which with
All right.
That's always
Edna,
the case.
with you on her side, I'm sure she's going to stay out of trouble. Now, stay on the line, dear, and Monica's going to get your address.
Okay, thank you very much for your comments.
All right,
All right.
take care. 215-227-2727. As promised, we have Richard Ross on the phone calling into court radio for his first appearance. Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
Welcome to court radio, sir.
Well, how are you?
We're doing great here. How does it feel now that you're on the job as the commissioner?
It's good, and a lot of other feelings as well.
Did you were you listening earlier? Because Dean wanted to know if you had gold braided pajamas.
Do they give you gold braided pajamas when you get the job?
No, you don't. If you do, Chuck Ramsey kept them.
Well, I know Chuck had them because he wore them here to court radio. You know, he came in a couple times. He wore them, and so yeah, I'm going to try to get them back for you, Richard.
No, that's okay.
If he's going to have it all, they're going to be fresh. Okay.
Okay, so let's talk seriously for a minute. What's it like in your new role as commissioner for the mayor, Jim Kenney, and for the city of Philadelphia?
Well, it's a big task. It's a big responsibility at any time to be the police commissioner, particularly of the fourth largest department in the country. And let's be honest, during this climate, it makes it even more challenging.
Yeah.
But, we're up for the task and trying to do as much as we can to make the necessary connections to make everything better.
How is it different? I mean, because you were the deputy commissioner, so you were one step down. But it's got to change now that you took up and you're now the head. You're the guy everybody looks to whenever there's an issue or problem.
Well, you're the lightning rod, and like Chuck Ramsey used to tease me, when you turn around, there's nobody behind you.
Right.
And so, but you know what? Being the number 2 for 8 years was some tremendous experience, particularly under Chuck Ramsey and the way he managed. So it frequently turned a lot of the reins over to me. So the transition isn't as difficult as it might have otherwise been.
Right.
But it's still different. I will be honest about that.
Do you have any one major plan that you have in your mind that you're going to implement or change or do something that you've been wanting to do or thinking about doing now that you have the ability to do it?
Well, I mean, sometimes I'm a little unorthodox, and I'll do a lot of different things. I can't really talk about all of this.
Right.
Just to
We
say
understand.
that, in policing in general right now, obviously the need to make connections with our communities, particularly communities of colors, but all the communities, to be honest with you.
Right.
It's such a critical thing that we have to do. So irrespective of whether it was my plan or not, it has to happen. And so what I always try to emphasize is, one, that not to suggest that we don't already have some great communities that work with us, but, I will not dismiss the notion that there's some that we have to work harder in. And so that's a big one.
Okay. I like that.
Let me ask you something. When is Philadelphia going to get body cameras for their officers?
Well, we already have the pilot program in the 22nd. We're about to move wholesale in that district, and that's in terms of officers, it's the largest district we have. Geographically, it's not, but we have over 200 plus officers there, and that'll be the first one that'll be where everyone will be outfitted, and after that, we'll slowly phase it in. Obviously, there's some monetary cost to that. Usually, it's not as much the camera as much as the storage space. When you're talking about downloading all that footage during the course of a day where the officer actually turns that camera on and off. But we are absolutely going to move forward with that. The mayor is all for that. I am. The officers who piloted the program are helping us to champion that cause. Obviously, at first, some did not want to do it. But I think when you start to do it and you realize even the benefits for both the public and the officer, you get officers that really get on board.
Yeah, I think that, I'd be interested to see. But I think that the officers, knowing that everything is being filmed, probably step up their game a little bit. They're probably, a notch or two more professional in all their engagements than they might otherwise have been.
Well, and it cuts both ways.
Goes both ways, yeah.
Not only
I agree.
does that happen, the ones who have worn it said it lowers the temperatures of folks they're dealing with.
Yeah.
Because you have to indicate that you're being recorded. And when that happens, they say on many instances that people will lower their temperature as well. So it works both ways, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
so.
I love
agree.
it. I love it. So let me ask you another question. We just got done with the Pope, right? And that went really well, except that I was deprived of going to my office for a couple days, and there were.
Was that good or bad?
Well, I got to make payroll every 2 weeks, so whether I want to go or not, I got to get there.
Gotcha.
And I got, there was these giant, security fences. But putting that aside, putting the inconvenience to Dean Weitzman aside,
Which is paramount to everyone.
Right. But we've got the Democratic National Convention coming to town. And those Democrats, they like to party. Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan.
Right.
Jordan's going to be chaperoning a few of them around, I'm sure.
So what is the city taking a lead on that, or is the Secret Service taking a lead? How is that going to flush out?
Well, I mean, in anything like that, the Secret Service always has the lead. But, we have such a great relationship with our federal partners that they work in conjunction with us, and they really try to do everything possible to make things fluid for us. You got to realize, obviously, it's a national thing, so they're going to be the number one on it. But it's a lot of planning that has already started. Fortunately, unlike the Pope, we've done this before with the RNC. I know some folks said in 1978, but the difference with the Pope or 79, is the fact that the world was different. And so we had to take into account things that we wouldn't have had to take into account before, terrorism and all these other things. So this kind of changes the scope of a lot of things we do in policing now.
And the important thing is, as you said, the plans have already begun. And I'm sure that they're going to intensify as time goes by. What will the citizens of Philadelphia see as we get closer to that day?
Well, I mean, it won't be as vast as the Pope. Obviously, you won't feel like the city is shut down. I mean, because so much will be done down at the Wells Fargo. There will undoubtedly be some demonstrations in Center City. We can't get around that. We expect that at every convention, particularly in this one, again, in light of the climate. So, and the RNC is the week before in Cleveland. Right. And so we will be looking at that to see if we can glean as much as possible. But we anticipate demonstrations. Hopefully they will be peaceful. But there'll be people coming from all over the nation to express their views on different things. Obviously, we haven't been dealing with the rhetoric that the Republicans are. So hopefully it'll be scaled down significantly, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Listen, we got to take a quick break, but we want you to stay on the line, Commissioner, because we still have other questions, and we want you to get your comment on Jordan's bill that recently passed the House, okay?
Okay.
Hold on. Folks, we'll be right back in 2 minutes.
If you've been injured on the job and are entitled to workers' comp, you need someone fighting for you from the start. Call Jeffrey Gross, attorney at law. Don't rely on your employer or insurance company to get it right. Call 215-512-1500. If you're entitled to workers' comp or it's being challenged, Jeffrey Gross can help get the money you deserve, and he won't get paid unless you get paid. Call 215-512-1500. Jeffrey Gross, attorney at law, representing Pennsylvania's injured workers for more than 20 years.
If you've been in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, you know what matters. Being able to afford medical care, providing for your family while you're out of work, knowing your rights, and getting just compensation. These things matter. That's why your attorney matters. I'm Dean Weitzman. If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident, My Philly Lawyer will fight for you. Call 215-227-2727. My Philly Lawyer, when winning matters most. If you or a loved one has been the victim of a medical mistake or misdiagnosis, you know what matters. Getting proper care matters. Providing for your family matters. Your attorney matters. I'm Dean Weitzman. For more than 30 years, My Philly Lawyer has been holding hospitals and insurance companies accountable for medical errors. Let us fight for you. Call 215-227-2727. My Philly Lawyer, when winning matters most.
If you have legal problems and need answers, call My Philly Lawyer's Dean Weitzman first at 215-227-2727. Whether it's personal injury, medical malpractice, birth injury, or more, Dean is ready to fight for you and the compensation you deserve.
I'm Dean Weitzman. Facing any kind of legal or medical challenge can be overwhelming, but you don't have to go it alone. Call 215-227-2727. My Philly Lawyer, when winning matters most.
The following is a paid program brought to you by My Philly Lawyer. The views and opinions expressed are those of the sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the station and its management.
Need more legal answers? Here's more Court Radio with your host, Dean Weitzman.
Good morning, folks, and welcome back. It's Court Radio, and I'm joined in the studio with my co-host, the one and the only, David M. Rappaport.
Good morning.
Good morning, David.
Good morning.
And sitting between us is the king of Harrisburg, Jordan Harris.
We got a Jordan Harris sandwich going on here.
Whoa.
He's here,
I don't want to go
folks.
there.
He's here because he single-handedly grabbed the representatives and the senators and pulled them forward to sign off on Senate Bill 166.
He didn't single-handedly.
No.
You can't put him on the spot like that. He didn't single-handedly.
This
Listen, this is my guy.
But he
okay?
was very-
I'm telling
look.
you, you know what? If it wasn't for him, those other guys would have just kept on playing with this thing,
Well,
hitting it back
I
and
think you
forth
could take credit
like
for
it was a
that.
tennis
You were
match.
pushing it.
What I can take credit for is being a part of an amazing team of legislators.
Such a politician.
No, seriously, because listen, Stuart Greenleaf was involved.
Definitely.
Senator,
you know that.
Senator Shirley Kitchen has been fighting for this issue for years.
Okay.
Former Senator Tim Sullivan, Representative Patty Kim, Representative Ron
All right,
Marshall.
all right, it's enough.
So that you're proud. You're proud to be a
I'm
part of
part
that.
of a
Yeah.
good team of
Good.
folks that
All right.
saw fit to try to get this done.
Last time we ever
We
praised
also
Jordan.
have Commissioner. We also have Commissioner Ross on the line, who we're going to get back to in 1 second. But we got to pay the bills, so let's talk to Vicky from Northeast Philly. Hi, Vicky. Welcome to Court Radio.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Is this the first time you're calling us?
Yes.
Oh, good. I can't wait to hear your question.
Well, my question is, my daughter was the night before she had gotten her tire fixed from roadside assistance through her insurance carrier, State Farm. So then she proceeded the next day to go on to her journey. Then her tires had came off, the tire that the roadside assistance had fixed. It came off on the road. So now she has all this damage up in the front end of her car. So they towed the car away. Finally, State Farm came and got the car and took it to their salvage yard. But they're telling her that if she wants to get her car fixed, that they'll pay for it if she gets it fixed through them. But if she wants to take it to who she wants to have fix it, then they're not going to pay for it. So now she has this rental truck that now they'll pay 80%, but she has to pay 20%. It's going on about a month now that she's had this rental car, and her car is still in State Farm salvage yard.
Okay, she can get it fixed wherever she wants under contract.
Yeah, that's not.
They can't dictate
do that.
And secondly, she may have a claim against the person who State Farm sent out there to put that tire on. You know, State Farm sent their agent out to the road to replace and repair her tire. If they didn't do it properly, they didn't tighten the lug nuts fully, and the wheel then breaks free, I think she has a claim against State Farm as if they were the at-fault party, not even under contract, but just because they took it upon themselves to do a repair and did it negligently. And so there's a couple of aspects here, but the bottom line is that she may have to send a tow truck on her own to grab that car and bring it to a body shop she wants it to go to. But she needs to move quickly because, you know, the court ultimately will want to make sure that she didn't delay the repair unnecessarily.
Plus, the cost of storage will rise every single day.
Yep.
And I've seen that comes back to bite very hard.
But because right now State Farm picked up the truck because
Correct.
The police, they had took it to their salvage yard first. So then State Farm, you know, they have to come out to see what, you know.
Let's make sure that this car is not totaled. I mean, you know, I want to make sure that it's actually repairable. But, you know, you certainly can say to State Farm, I'm taking it to my body shop and send a tow truck and pick the car up.
Yeah, they can't dictate where to get it fixed.
Okay.
All right.
Because they're telling her this is all on her, that they had nothing to do with it. But she has her roadside assistance through you. She called her roadside assistance, and you sent them out there. They're the third party, but they're through you.
That's what he said. Agency. That's what it's called.
I did it last night.
Agency.
I blew a wheel up on I-95 in a big old pothole. Of course, it wasn't in the city of Philadelphia. It was in Bucks County. And the city roads were actually pretty clean. But I blew a wheel up and sat on the side of the road for an hour and a half waiting for roadside assistance with my 2-year-old in the back seat. Yeah.
Lord.
All right. Thanks for calling Court Radio. Listen, dear, because you're a new caller, stay on the line. We're going to get Monica to get you a Court Radio T-shirt, okay?
Oh, thank you. I listen to you guys every Sunday.
Thank you so
I love
much.
You guys.
Take care.
All right. Thank you.
215-227-2727. Let's get back to Commissioner Ross. Welcome back to Court Radio, sir.
All right, I'm here.
You're here. Thank you. Tell us, can you share any updates with us on the police officer who was ambushed in Philadelphia?
Right. So, you know, the FOP had a great benefit for him just last week. A lot of folks showed up in support of him, and he was there with his family, and I got to say he was in really good spirits. And so he's getting better every week. Still got a ways to go, but very glad that he's here with us today.
Good. Yeah, we're glad to hear that, and thanks for the update. So tell me, what do you think about Jordan Harris's Senate Bill 166 that's going to allow certain folks to get misdemeanors expunged?
Well, if I understand it correctly, I mean, after 10 years, it gives people the opportunity who have served their time to have their record not viewed in a certain way so that they can get back into society, right?
Yes.
That's correct.
I'm all for that. I mean, people should get a second opportunity, and kudos to the representative and his colleagues for pushing forth that, because irrespective of where you stand on this redemption issue, at some point in time, and I believe in that, people should get another chance, but at some point in time, people are coming back. So what are you going to do?
What are you going to do with them, right?
Whether you're conservative or liberal about it, you got to be objective about it, and the reality of it is they're coming back, and you should give them an opportunity.
Yeah,
we like that.
It would be nice, I think, for folks to have an opportunity to get back into the workforce and not to carry that baggage around with them as a life sentence. And frankly, I don't make any bones about it. I hope that this is a slippery slope, and I hope that we start here and that more crimes can be added to this bill, because I think that a lot of folks, maybe not everybody, I'm not going to go that far, but a lot of folks who committed crimes but then go on to lead a clean, life for a substantial period of time deserve to have it put behind them once and for all.
I couldn't agree with you more, and I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you I've had guys stop me on the street and just from seeing you on TV or what have you and say, look, I made mistakes. I can't find a job. I want to work. And you can kind of sense the sincerity in all of it. And so they stay
Right.
get a chance. Come on.
And the other option is that they can go back to a life of crime. And somehow they've cobbled together 10 years where that didn't happen. And so that's real, you know? That's a real history that they have, and it should be honored by allowing them to move forward and open up the job market so that they don't have to carry that around. All right, I beat that horse, but, you know, this is the beginning, and I understand that you have to start somewhere, but I certainly hope it isn't the end. Tell us one last thing before we leave you. Something that you want the public to know about your commissionership, about the city, about policing, something.
Well, I mean, how about I give you a couple things. One, and most people don't do this, but I just hope that before people hit us with a broad brush about what police officers do, this rhetoric about, you know, some police officers are good. I mean, if you said that about any other group of people, most folks would be highly offended. But for some reason you can say that about police officers, and that's okay. Well, that's not okay. I mean, the vast majority of these police officers get out there, give their heart and soul to what they do. We want to connect with as many people as possible. I will tell you that I am open to sitting down with just about anyone to work on issues that relate to quality of life as well as community police-related issues. And so I hope that folks hear that.
How do they get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with me either through my email, which is richard.ross@phila.gov, phila.gov, or they can call the number in the office at 215-686-3333.
Commissioner, thank you so much for coming into Court Radio.
It's a good dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known Commissioner Ross for a while. And,
For a while now.
And we've worked together on some things. I remember when we were having those issues with flash mobs and the commissioner.
Flash mobs,
yeah.
my God, that was 100 years ago.
But you know what? That's a good thing because it seems
You
like
look like you just got out of high school.
It seems like it, but we worked together on that, and I've always had a great and tremendous amount of respect. And I reached out to him when it was official and told him, like, I look forward to working with him now as a police commissioner. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Oh, no doubt.
Welcome aboard. Thank you so much for joining us. Come back again. Have a great Sunday, Commissioner.
You guys do the same now.
Take care.
215-227-2727. We got callers lined up on expungement. Let's talk to Keisha from Germantown, line 2. Hi, Keisha. Welcome to Court Radio.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good this morning.
What are you doing up now? You coming back from work?
No, I'm on the way to the salon.
Oh, wow.
Oh, to work. She's not getting
to work.
work done.
Oh,
She's working.
Okay. Sunday
Did you
salons.
say getting work done?
No.
like a surgery or something.
She's getting her work. Wait, am I right, Keisha? Am I right? You're getting your work done. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your question to expungement?
Okay, I was arrested in 2010, basically on a conspiracy situation, and I was arrested overnight. And now I'm trying to find other employment, and it's hard because they're doing a background.
Were you
She's the daughter of the
merely-
woman
were
who
you
called
me-
in before?
were you
Same
mere-
crime.
Were you merely arrested or were you
I
convicted?
think it's the daughter.
I wasn't convicted because my paperwork, everything says dismissed.
Okay, so
Okay.
you didn't go to trial.
Then you're good.
No.
Okay, so then you fall in that group of people who
Automatic.
get an automatic wash away. Is there a time frame?
Okay.
3 years. If 3 years have
3
lapsed
years.
and there has been no dispensation of your case and there are no scheduled proceedings, then under this
Okay.
bill you would be covered for that to be sealed.
Okay, so
Has it been 3
the
years?
bill,
Yeah, it has been 3 years.
It was in 2010.
right? But Keisha,
Right.
the bill doesn't go into effect
It's not in effect.
for 270 days or 9 months. It's like having a baby.
So you gotta wait.
So after you have the baby, and this baby is Bill 166, you're going to be good to go.
And you won't have to do anything. It's automatic.
Yeah, it'll be automatic.
Oh, okay, because I already put in for an expungement, but I just wanted to.
Well, she can do that now, actually, if you wanted to.
You're still eligible to expunge because it only is an arrest record.
Right.
And so you fall under the old law. And arrest records were expungible.
Right.
And so if they get to your expungement before the 9 months, then you'll get it done sooner. But at the worst case scenario, in 9 months, it's getting washed away.
Oh, great. Okay.
All right, Keisha, thanks for calling Court Radio.
Thank you so much.
Take care, dear. 215-227-2727. Let's talk to Martina from Mount Airy. Hi, Martina. No Martina. Bye-bye. How about James from Fallcroft on line 1? Hey, James, welcome to Court Radio, bud.
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. If I was any better, it would be illegal. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I was just leaving work, and I heard expungement, and I just like what I'm hearing here. I was arrested and charged back in 2008 with some things unjustly, and 5 of the charges were automatically dismissed, and I pleaded out to a summary disorderly conduct.
Yeah, well, summary offenses were always under the old law. Summary offenses were expungible. You can expunge that.
Right.
You can expunge it right now.
Right, exactly. And my thing was expunging it right now. I had to hire a lawyer and pay a lot of money to do that. My question was, under this new bill, does it just automatically happen? I don't have to petition anybody when it goes into effect?
No. Under the new bill, more things are expungible than they are now. But under the new bill, just like now, it doesn't happen automatically. You have to file a petition. Mm-hmm. And so you still probably need to retain an attorney. You're still going to spend the money. I don't know.
The only automatic thing was the arrest, not being convicted, rather, not being ultimately disposed of.
Arrest or stop records or arrest records are going to wash away without.
That's automatic.
Filing.
That's the only automatic.
But summary offenses, you still need to file.
Okay, so the charges will go away, but I still have to petition for the summary.
You have to petition to get rid of the summary. All the 5 charges that were dismissed,
they're gone.
They should be gone.
Okay, great.
All right, James, take care, sir. Thanks for calling Court Radio.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Let's talk to Joseph from Germantown, line 5. Hi, Joseph. Welcome to Court Radio.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you. Is this the first time you're calling us?
Yes, it is.
It must be. He's calling you, sir.
Yeah. I'm Dean, and that's David. And
Jordan.
David.
Hey, and here's Jordan over here.
Yeah, we got Jordan between us.
Oh, Jesus. Keep saying that, man.
Good morning. Good morning, Joseph.
So, do you have a question on expungement, Joe?
I do. I applied for a couple of jobs. Mm-hmm. In 1987, I have an unauthorized use of a vehicle. I did 2 years probation on that in 87. Unauthorized use of a vehicle. And when I applied for jobs, it came up.
Right.
And
so,
I was denied.
Okay, so that's probably fits within this bill. I mean,
probably.
I don't know whether that. I doubt that's a misdemeanor 1, but again, misdemeanor 2s and misdemeanor 3s, and of course, summary offenses always were and continue to be expungible. If it rises to a misdemeanor 1 or a felony, currently, but we do hope it changes. Currently, it is not expungible. So,
right. Well, it's not. It wasn't a felony at all.
Okay.
Well, there's also that time period, so he's right in that 2-year time period. Right. If it were more than 2 years of probation, he wouldn't qualify. Am I correct, Jordan?
Right.
I
mean, from what it said, listen, I can't.
I know we don't know. Right.
We don't know the specifics of your case.
Correct.
But what it sounds like you probably have a misdemeanor 2 because it's the 2-year time period. That's probably a misdemeanor 2, and if that's the case, it would fit into this. Once the governor signs it, and after the 270 days, you would be able to petition the court for limited access, which means that for those employers, this thing would be shielded from your record.
So here's what you need to do. Because you have this time, in other words, the governor needs to sign it, and then there's 270 days, you can look up your record, see what kind of a misdemeanor it was, make sure that you qualify so that you're ready to do what you need to do when the time comes.
Joseph, we'd love to chat some more, but we got to pay the bills, and our sponsors' commercials need to run right now. So thank you for calling Court Radio. If you need more, give us a call during the week, and have a great Sunday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Folks, we'll be back in 2 minutes.
You were just hurt. It's not your fault. You're in physical pain. How do you get better? Who is going to help you recover? West Philadelphia Associates has highly trained doctors and staff that can help you today. Don't wait at a hospital. West Philadelphia Associates will work with your attorney, providing documentation of all injuries and the best plan for treatment to get you back to the life you deserve. With diagnostic studies to better detect injuries, West Philadelphia Associates doctors and staff will help you recover. West Philadelphia Associates, here to help you get better because you deserve it. Call 215-471-4714.
For 20 years, Center City Medical Center has provided premium expert medical services for Philadelphia. Whether you need musculoskeletal rehab or an immigration physical, call 888-945-EXAM. Our board-certified physicians have more than 80 years' experience from post-injury rehab to DNA paternity testing. To make an appointment at one of our 3 convenient locations, call 888-945-EXAM. Get premium expert care. Center City Medical Center, serving Northeast, North, and Center City, Philadelphia. If you've been injured on the job and are entitled to workers' comp, you need someone fighting for you from the start. Call Jeffrey Gross, attorney at law. Don't rely on your employer or insurance company to get it right. Call 215-512-1500. If you're entitled to workers' comp or it's being challenged, Jeffrey Gross can help get the money you deserve, and he won't get paid unless you get paid. Call 215-512-1500. Jeffrey Gross, attorney at law, representing Pennsylvania's injured workers for more than 20 years.
If you've been in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, you know what matters. Being able to afford medical care, providing for your family while you're out of work, knowing your rights, and getting just compensation. These things matter. That's why your attorney matters. I'm Dean Weitzman. If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident, My Philly Lawyer will fight for you. Call 215-227-2727. My Philly Lawyer, when winning matters most.
The following is a paid program brought to you by My Philly Lawyer. The views and opinions expressed are those of the sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the station and its management.
Need more legal answers? Here's more Court Radio with your host, Dean Weitzman.
Good morning and welcome back. It's Court Radio, and I'm Dean Weitzman, joined in the studio with my favorite co-host, the one and only David M. Rappaport.
Good morning.
And we have our special guest in the studio today, our favorite representative from Harrisburg, Jordan Harris.
Good morning.
Good morning, Harris. Jordan,
Yes.
you're running this year?
Yes.
Get out of here.
Yes.
No way.
Yep. Every 2 years.
You want to do it again?
Every 2 years, baby. Every 2 years.
Okay, so there's a primary coming up.
April 26th.
Okay.
I will be on the ballot.
You will be on the ballot.
Yes, I will.
Have you circulated those petitions?
I'm circulating them right now.
Oh, okay.
Well, you see the work that he's done, the expungement bill. Come on,
This
people.
is a hard-working, smart representative from the city of
If you don't vote
brotherly
for him,
love.
you are sorely mistaken.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, we have every one of your constituents listening right now. Yeah, they have their ear to Court Radio.
186th District.
There you go. Listen, folks, I got to give you a little heads up, okay? The police commissioner, Richard Ross, was here today, and we had a really nice conversation with him, and he gave out his email, which was incorrect, and I'm going to correct that right now. So it's police.public_affairs, police.public_affairs @phila.gov. If you want to reach Commissioner Ross, was going to say Harris, Commissioner Ross.
I'm good.
You need to email him, and he'll get it if you send it to police.public_affairs@phila.gov. Okay, now that we've cleared that all up, let's talk to Yasir from North Philly on line 2. Hi, Yasir. Welcome to Court Radio.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good.
That doesn't sound convincing.
No, he's just tired a little bit. Yasir, you're just a little tired.
I am up a little. I'm up a little earlier, picking my wife up from work.
All right. So, you got a question about expungement?
Yes, I do. Actually, I came in on the tail end of the what you were saying about the new law about misdemeanors being expunged, and I really didn't get the full detail on it. What I did hear was M1s and felonies are not eligible for expungements.
That's correct.
Okay. The thing is, I heard what you said about second chances and these charges being a life sentence.
Yep.
You know, that's true, but how is that true for people with felonies? As in myself.
Here's how it's true. We hear you loud and clear if you've ever heard us talking about this. But as everything in this world with politics, baby steps. You know, we got this passed. This is the right thing. And hopefully, as Dean said earlier, it'll lead to a look at the other crimes that are nonviolent and would qualify, and perhaps doing that. But as of now, unfortunately, it's not there yet.
Yeah. And I like.
But you're absolutely right about the other.
Yeah,
thing.
you're not going to get an argument here at Court Radio.
Yeah.
We agree. This is the beginning, and it shouldn't be the end. And there should be plenty more that comes down the pike. And we hope it happens soon for you and for all the other folks who are hardworking, leading a clean life, and deserve a fresh start. So,
well, I've been out of trouble for some years now. You know, and I'm
me too.
You know what I'm saying? That you know, they have a problem finding employment and things of that nature, and it is hard. You know, because you know I had to take an extra step. I'm a truck driver now, and even within that field, I still have issues with you know my history.
I'm sure you do, Yasir. And again, I couldn't agree with you more. But unfortunately, this is where we are today, and we hope to progress from here. But we're out of time, Yasir. I got 16 seconds to say goodbye to Jordan. So take care, Yasir. Thanks for calling Court Radio.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Jordan Harris.
Dean Weitzman, thank you. Let me say this publicly. Thank you, my Philly lawyer, and thank you so much for always having us on the show to talk about this major issue. Thanks to all of the legislators that took part, Senator Kitchen, Senator Greenleaf, Representative Marsico, Representative Patty Kim, everybody that's been involved, the District Attorneys Association. This is a team effort. I mean, and for me, this isn't the end. We got a lot more to go, but this is definitely a good start.
A hardworking guy who deserves another chance. He deserves a second chance.
A third chance, baby. Give me that.
All right, folks,
right.
We'll see you next week. David, thanks for showing up. And we'll be here same time, same place. Peace.